Very good afternoon, everybody. We are here for the pharmacognosy 2 lecture. We have already discussed about the glycosides and what are the different types of glycoside, how they can be classified. Then we studied about the different chemical tests for different classes of glycosides. Okay, and so moving ahead with moving ahead in this topic, we are going to discuss about the method of extraction of glycoside. So let us understand what are the different methods can be done for extraction of alkaloid. So this is the isolation of glycoside. The method by which glycosides are isolated is called Stats-Otto method. This is one of the very famous method, and its name is Stats-Otto method. The drug containing glycoside is finely powdered and subject to successive extraction in Soxhlet apparatus with alcohol or suitable solvent. So for this, we have already studied, we have already seen the working of Soxhlet apparatus in our practicals, and so you know how the drug has to be placed in the Soxhlet apparatus, what are the conditions needed for the drug to be extracted with the help of Soxhlet apparatus. So the first foremost thing is the drug should be finely powdered to subject to successive extraction. Okay, then in Soxhlet apparatus. So just let me give you the brief of the how Soxhlet apparatus work. So Soxhlet apparatus has a brown metal flask in the bottom kept on a heating mantle. Then over this you have to place a thimble area containing the siphon tube and side tube, and over this you have to place a reflex condenser which has a water inlet at down and a water outlet at upper part. Okay, and in thimble area you need to place the finely powdered drug. Then you have to make sure that the solvent whatever you are taking should be volatile in nature, containing a small amount of porcelain which will avoid the bumping of the solvent. Then this solvent, after heating up, getting evaporated, will travel from the side tube to the condenser. There it is going to be condensed with the help of the cold water. Then after the condensation, the solvent is going to pass through the drug, and slowly the drug is going to be extracted. When the drug gets extracted from the side tube, the solvent is going to, from the siphon tube, this extract will be going to pass, and it is going to again enter into the round bottle flask. So this is what we have already seen in the practicals. So this is what you're supposed to do with the glycosylated drug. So for this, you need to go for successive extraction. What is successive extraction? Successive extraction is a process where you need to have a particular solvent in a particular way. Like first of all, you have to get the drug defact. So for this, we're going to treat the drug with the petrol and ether. Then you're going to change the solvent every time. And why we go for the successive extraction? Just because to ensure that, see, वी नेवर नो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ ड्रग इज इट, है ना। वी हम बहुत सारी ड्रग को हम देखते हैं, हम प्रैक्टिकल करते हैं तो ये देख के करते हैं इसमें क्या क्या पॉसिबिलिटी, तो हम अलग अलग सॉल्वेंट के साथ एक्सट्रैक्शन करते हैं। हम अलग अलग सॉल्वेंट के साथ एक्सट्रैक्ट करेंगे, हर एक्सट्रैक्ट को चेक करते हैं इसमें क्या एक्सट्रैक्ट आया है, तो वी गो फॉर सक्सेसिव एक्सट्रैक्शन। So and for glycoside as well, we go for successive extraction. During this method, first take a drug containing glycoside, finely powdered that and extracted with alcohol or water using Soxhlet apparatus. After extraction, collect the extract and treat with lead acetate. So once the drug is completely exhausted with the solvent, you need to take out the extract. Then you need to treat that extract with lead acetate to precipitate tannins. After that, filter it, and to the filtrate pass H2S gas. So what you have to do after adding lead acetate, you need to filter it, and to the filtrate, whatever is going to filtered will be on the filter paper upper part, and the filtrate will travel down in your beaker. Then you need to pass H2S gas, no lead acetate, precipitate as lead sulfide, and so number of lead acetate present in the, if there is some amount of lead acetate present, will be getting precipitated with as lead sulfide, as to this is toxic. Now after the extract, again filter it. So now again you have to filter the extract, and similarly the filtered will be upper part of the filter paper, and the filtrate will be in the down part of that maybe your beaker, and then is subjected to fractional crystallization. Distillation or chromatography gives pure component and extract molecule structure is determined by spectroscopy, ultra-red assay, infrared, NMR, and mass spectroscopy. So this is the way of extracting glycoside. And since there are different methods for different type of glycoside, like for an example, if you're extracting glycyrrhizal glabra, so there you have to go for the other method. So this is a common method, starch auto method, where you're going to extract pure and pure. You're going to extract glyphosate, and for the particular drug, for say glycyrrhiza glabra, you have to extract glycerinic acid. So there will be a particular procedure. This is the common method. Next, so we're going to study now a drug, glycyrrhiza. Synonym: Muletti. Biological source: Glycyrrhiza consists of subterranean peeled and unpeeled stolon root and subterranean stem of Glycyrrhiza glabra belonging to family Leguminaceae. Okay, the Glycyrrhiza glabra is a peeled and unpeeled. आप सबने मुलेठी देखी हुई है, हमने बहुत सब मुलेठी खाई भी है ना, और हमने देखा मुलेठी क्या है. मुलेठी एक्चुअली स्टोलन पार्ट है. स्टोलन वो पार्ट होता है, मॉडिफाइड स्टेम होती है जो above the ground part रहती है, which provide little support to the main branch, main stem, and these are the small just above the ground. They look very similar to root, but they are the stolon part, and they are obtained from Glycyrrhiza glabra belonging to family Leguminaceae. Geographical source: it is mainly found in China, Europe, India, Iraq, Kurdistan, Spain, Turkey, and United States. Cultivation: collection. Licorice is often cultivated for its edible root, which is widely used in medicine as a flavoring agent. Licorice को अगर देखा जाए तो बहुत edible root के फॉर्म में यूज किया जाता है, widely यूज किया जाता है. बहुत अच्छे मिसवाक जो हम पेस्ट यूज करते हैं उसमें एक बहुत प्रपोर्शन है ग्लिसराइजा का. उसके अलावा बहुत सारे ऐसे सिरप्स हैं जिसमें एज अ फ्लेवरिंग एजेंट, एज एक्सपेक्टोरेंट यूज किया जाता है. ओके, द प्लांट रिक्वायर डीप कल्टिवेटेड फर्टाइल मॉइस्चर रिटेंटिव सॉइल फॉर गुड रूट प्रोडक्शन. है ना, बहुत अच्छी से डीप वेल कल्टिवेटेड फर्टाइल सॉइल चाहिए और मॉइस्चर रिटेंटिव सॉइल चाहिए ताकि जो रूट है वो प्रॉपर ग्रो कर सके. प्रिफर सैंडी सॉइल विद अबंडेंट मॉइस्चर, डज नॉट फ्लरिश इन क्ले. है ना, सैंडी सॉइल लिया जाता है. मैंने पहले बताया हुआ कि इस तरह की ड्रग विच जहाँ रूट या हम अंडरग्राउंड मॉडिफिकेशन यूज करते हैं वहाँ यूजुअली सैंडी सॉइल प्रेफर की जाती है. उसकी वजह यह है कि सैंडी सॉइल won't allow the air water to coagulate. है ना, वाटर कोगुलेशन नहीं होगा. जबकि क्ले में क्या होगा, वाटर कोगुलेशन होगा, चिकनी मिट्टी रहेगी, पानी होल्ड करके रखेगी. तो अंडरग्राउंड मॉडिफिकेशन में फ्लैशी जो फ्रेश पार्ट है, देयर इज अ चांसेस ऑफ गेटिंग रोटेड, खराब होने चांसेस है. अभी आप देख लो इस मौसम में हम जब जिंजर देख रहे हैं तो जिंजर कितने खराब आ रहे हैं. वजह यह है कि अगर उसमें प्रॉपर सैंडी सॉइल नहीं है भी तो भी वाटर कोगुलेशन है बारिश की वजह से, तो खराब हो जाता है. तो प्रिफरेबली हम मुलेठी के लिए भी गो फॉर सैंडी सॉइल. Slightly alkaline condition produce the best plant. Okay, the plant thrives in maritime climate. It is propagated using seed and root. The seeds are soaked for 24 hours in water and then sown in spring or autumn in greenhouse. The seedlings are usually potted when they are large enough to handle and grown them for the first winters in greenhouse. They are transplanted in late spring or early summers when it's active growth. Plants are rather slow to grow from seed. The plants are produced from old plantation being waste from the harvesting process. This was the method for seed. What you're supposed to do if you get a seed, so you need to pre-soak. आपको उसको गर्म पानी में थोड़ा सोक करके रखना. लिटिल हार्ड है तो उसे पानी में भिगो के रख के आपको इसको स्प्रिंग और ऑटम के सीजन में इसको ग्रो किया जाता है. जब सीडलिंग या इंडिविजुअली ग्रो करने के बाद एक सैपलिंग ग्रीन हाउस में प्रॉपर ग्रो हो जाते हैं, देन दे आर ट्रांसप्लांटेड स्प्रिंग लेट स्प्रिंग में. उसे अर्ली समर्स या लेट स्प्रिंग में उनको हम फील्ड में ट्रांसफर करते हैं. सीडलिंग से रादर स्लो ग्रोथ मिलती है एज कंपेयर टू द प्लांटेशन. तो यूजुअली प्लांटेशन किया जाता है फ्रॉम दी जो चॉपिंग करके जब स्टोलन निकाल लिया जाता है उसके बाद जो बचते हैं प्लांट, है ना, उससे ग्रो किया जाता है. प्लांट्स आर प्रोड्यूस्ड फ्रॉम द प्लांटेशन बीइंग वेस्टेड फ्रॉम द हार्वेस्टिंग प्रोसेस. Considering those side root or runners while which have eye bud or buds, है ना, यूजुअली हम उन्हीं पार्ट प्लांटेशन जब भी हम कोई स्टेम से या बाग से या टहनी से करते हैं, है ना, कलम लगाना जिसे कहते हैं, तो हम मेक श्योर करते हैं कि जो भी पार्ट जो ग्रो करना है उसमें कहीं ना कोई आई बड हो, है ना, आई बड हो या फिर उसके अंदर कोई साइड रूट हो, लेटरल रूट हो, है ना, तभी ग्रो करेगा. जैसे एग्जांपल लो कि टेपियोका देखा होगा. टेपियोका इज अ प्लांट विच जिससे हम साबुदाना बनाते हैं. तो टेपियोका का जो प्लांट है उसमें भी यही किया जाता है कि प्लांट ऊपर बहुत अच्छा ग्रो करता है, नीचे नीचे उसकी जो टेपियोका का जो कंद है जिसे हम बल्ब वो अंदर ग्रो करता है. तो जब प्लांट कलेक्शन किया जाता है तो प्लांट को पूरा का पूरा प्लग करते हैं और उसके बाद उसमें से पल्प निकाल लिया जाता है टेपियोका का, और उसके बाद अगेन द सेम ब्रांच के मेकिंग श्योर दैट इट बियर्स द आई पार्ट एंड नोड पार्ट, है ना, जहाँ पे आगे डेवलपमेंट ब्रांच या स्टेम डेवलपमेंट की प्रोसेस होगा, उसको कट करके उतने एरिया को कट करके लगा दिया जाता है। सिमिलरली फॉर पोटैटो एज वेल, हम आलू को उगाना है तो आलू के अंदर जहाँ बड आई है उस पार्ट में हम उसको ग्रो करते हैं। ओके, सो ऐसे ही मुलेटिकली किया जाता है। ओके, which are I bud cut into section about 6 inches, तो 6 inches का सेक्शन लगा के उन्हें उगाया जाता है। They are dipped in row for 3 or 4 feet apart, है ना, उसको रो में डिप करके कलम जैसे लगाई जाती है वैसे लगाया जाता है, making sure that it has a 4 inches surface between it and 18 inches apart. In the autumn, the ground is dressed in farmyard manure, about 40 tons of the acres. The plants are slow to settle in it and do not produce much growth in their first 2 years after being moved. The young growth is also very susceptible to damage by slugs, or the plant will require some protection for its first 2 years. This species has symbiotic relationship with certain soil bacteria. The bacteria from nodules or on the root and fix atmospheric nitrogen. Some of the nitrogen is utilized by the growing plant, but some can also be used by other plants growing nearby. So this is the general method for cultivation of plant. Harvesting. Harvesting is generally occur in the month of autumn, and for the fourth year. After the 4 years has been completed, the plant has been collected in the month of autumn. The soil is carefully removed from the space between the rows to the depth of 2 to 3 feet required, thus exposing the root and the rhizome at the side, and those being then removed bodily. The earth from the next space is then removed and grown into trench, thus form, and these operations are repeated continuously. So after the 4 years, the plant is ready to be collected, and then you need to plug the plant, making sure that it should not contain the mud, and you need to remove the mud from the bodily part. Roots are properly washed, trimmed, and sorted, and either sold in their entire state or cut into shorter length and dried in the latter case. The cortical layer, some being sometimes removed by scrapping. The older and the harder runners are sorted and sold separately. The young and soft are reserved for propagation. Okay, so these are the way the different sorting has been done. Some are sold entirely, जैसा है वैसे ही बेचा जाता है. Otherwise, sometimes they are trimmed. Make sure to cut it into a proper length. The cortical layer, the upper layer, because it's a stone and the root part, it bears a upper cortical layer, which sometimes very little gets a rough surface, so they are removed by scrapping it, and older and harder runners are sorted separately, and soft and young runners kept for next propagation. Characteristic: all have seen Glycyrrhiza glabra, and it is a long root stolon part, straight, nearly cylindrical, peeled, unpeeled species several feet in length, varying in thickness up from 1.4 inches to about 1 inches, longitudinally wrinkled, extreme grayish brown in color, dark brown, and when it is unpeeled, when it is peeled, it gives slightly yellowish color, internally tawny and pale, palleable, tough है, texture coarsely fibrous है. अगर आप Glycyrrhiza glabra के रूट को आप कभी खाया है या आप तोड़ के देखो तो बहुत fibrous है, बहुत रेशेदार है ना, च्यू भी करते तो बहुत सारे से फाइबर रहता है. बार ज्यादा थिक, गुड पोरस गुड है, आपको ऐसा लगेगा जैसे अंदर बहुत भूसा है, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल उसके अंदर जो उसके वो कंटेंट है वो बहुत ऐसे within the fibers are locked, but dense in narrow wedges. Taste very sweet, slightly little acrid है, थोड़ा सा taste after when you finishes up there is a little acrid taste. The underground stem, which is often present, has a similar appeal but contain thin pith. Underground जो usually हम stolen को ही collect करते हैं, not root part, but sometimes the root has been collected and but it contain little amount of sweet, and the जो उसका जो pith है वो little thin है. When peeled, as I told, piece of roots are shorter, pale yellow, slightly fibrous externally, exhibit no trace of small dark buds. बहुत clean root रहती है, peel होने के बाद एकदम चिकना आपको दिखेगा, उसके अंदर कोई आपको small dark bud नहीं दिखेगा या कोई उसके अंदर आपको कोई इसमें आई बर्ड नहीं दिखेगा, वेरी क्लीन ब्राइट क्लीन सरफेस, स्मूथ सरफेस रहता है. So this is about the characteristic of Glycyrrhiza glabra. Microscopy. So when the drug is ready for the microscopy part, what you need to get the internal part, how to see the drug as in the microscope. So what you need to do is you need to boil this drug. आपको Glycyrrhiza glabra को boil करना है अच्छे से. Soft enough to be cut into a section, and generally we go for transverse section. And when the drug is fine, soft enough to be cut, we cut it into a small round transverse section, and it consists of radial arranged with thin walled tubular cells. So what you see is that there is a tubular cell on the wall. Palindrome is composed of parenchyma and sometimes collenchyma cell. As it is the stolen part, so it is sure for the root and it contains collenchyma. Starch grain calcium oxalates are seen, very clear starch grain crystals are there. Pericyclic fibers are found in group. Phloem consists of seed tube alternating thin walled lignified fibers surrounded by sheet of parenchyma cell containing presence of calcium oxalate. Xylem vessel and xylem parenchyma are present. Metal rays are readily elongated with its present rhizome and absent the root. So this is what you're supposed to get. That means when we say what concretely we're going to see in the microscopy, that is you're going to see parenchyma, collenchyma, and in the wall of the cork, the outermost wall, you will get a tubular arrangement of cell, and you can see very clearly calcium oxalate and crystals, starch grain crystals, and your phloem consisting of seed tubes and lignified fibers you're going to see. This is a special characteristic of Glycyrrhiza glabra. So this is the TS section. This is your layer, outermost cork layer. Okay, and this is your palindrome region. This region is your phloem fibers. These are the xylem and phloem part. This is and xylem and phloem. These are both makes a medullary ray, and it contains calcium oxalate crystals and starch crystals. So these are the small where you can see. These are the actually this is not clearly very. This section is being the photo, but this is how you can see the calcium oxalate crystal within the cells. Okay. Now moving ahead, chemical constituent. The chief active constituent in Glycyrrhiza root is glycerin, and basically we now we are going to discuss about chemical constituent. The chief active constituent of Glycyrrhiza is glycerin. It is about 6 to 8%, and it is also just because of this it gives us a sweet taste and 50 times sweeter than sucrose. So that is why many paste, many sweetening agent has been replaced in this because of glycerin. Now we use glycerin as a sweetening agent, and which is 50 times sweeter than sucrose. It is a crystalline powder consisting of calcium, potassium salt, of glycinic acid. Glycinic acid on hydrolysis is glycerinic or glycerinic acid. Glycerinic acid is triterpenoid saccharine having alpha amide structure. It shows especially alkaline solution frothing. When you shake this with water, it gets forth, jhaag banega, but has very weak hemolytic property. Since saponin की particular property दी गया है कि वो hemolytic property show करता है, breakdown करता है, hemolysis करता है. The yellow color of the drug is due to chalcone, glycoside, isocuritin. The drug also contains sugars, starch, 29%, gum, protein, fats, about 8.8%, resin, asparagine, trace tannins in the outer bark of the root. Yellow containing matter is about 0.32 3 of volatile oil. Okay, so these are the main active principle of glycyrrhiza, but the main chief active constituent glycerin, which is about 6 to 8%. This is the structure of glycerin and glycerinic acid. So you can see the structure. Chemical test. So we have already studied about the chemical test of glycyrrhiza as a glycosidal drug. Apart from this, there is a specific test for glycerinic acid. And when you add 80% of the sulfuric acid to the section of powdered drug, orange color is produced due to transformation of flavon glycoside liquid into chalcone glycoside isocuritin. So this is a specific test for Glycyrrhiza glabra. Uses Glycyrrhiza is widely used as sweetening agent and is bronchial problem as catarrh, bronchitis, cold, flu, and cough. It reduces irritation of the throat and yet it has an expectorant action. So what is expectorant? Expectorant are those preparations which remove cough from the throat. It also produces demulcent soothing effect, expectorant effect. It is used in relieving stress. It is potent in healing agent for tuberculosis where its effect has been compared to hydrocortisone. Glycyrrhiza is also effective in helping reduce fever. And it may also have antibacterial action as well. It is used in treatment of chronic inflammation such as arthritis, rheumatoid diseases, chronic skin condition, autoimmune disease in general. It is used in moderation and should not be prescribed for pregnant women or people with high blood pressure, kidney disease, or taking digoxin-based medication. Prolonged usage raises the blood pressure and cause water retention. Externally, the root is used in treatment of herpes, eczema, and shillings. So this is all about Glycyrrhiza glabra. And today, what we studied about the isolation of Glycyrrhiza, isolation of your uh, glycoside. Then we studied about the drug, and in this case, we studied about the synonym, biological source, how you're going to cultivate glycyrrhiza, how you're going to harvest, what is morphology, what is microscopy, chemical test, and use. So this was all for today. Thank you so much.